Greetings, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to talk about meetings. Maishu, arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the 9th year of the Leadership Japan series. And I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy committed to your success, president of Dale Carnegie Training Tokyo, Japan, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. My new book in Japanese, Za Eigyo, is available on Amazon. We are broadcasting around the world from Minato-ku in the center of Tokyo, the leadership capital of Japan. It brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan, and trust me, it is different here. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is nomisugita, 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 meaning I drank too much. Again, this is very informal. If you're at work and you're looking a bit gruesome, and your colleague may say, "Hey, you okay?" You can just say something like nomisugita. I drank too much. Nomisugita, nomisugita, nomisugita. We don't recommend that, of course. Nomisugita, bad idea. But if ever it happens, then that's the word. You can describe how you are feeling and how you are looking is because you nomisugita. This is episode number 466. And today we're talking about business meetings are mostly ridiculous. When you mention the word meetings to people in business, their eyes often start to roll. Why is that? Usually because they feel there are too many meetings and that the meetings they attend are not effective nor worth the time being spent. Given meetings have been around forever, you have to wonder why we haven't done a better job yet on arranging a meeting so that they are effective. Not all meetings are created equally, and I think this is where we get confused. There are very simple information sharing meetings, and then at the other end of the scale, we have heavy-duty, world-changing strategic meetings, which will determine the fate of the enterprise over the next decade or more. The complexity of the meetings should reflect the scale of time required and the number of people needed to attend, but often it doesn't. Many times we're allocating too much time and requiring too many people for meetings. These simple meetings could either be replaced with an email or could be severely truncated in terms of the time impost. The bracket of 1 hour seems to have become the default period for meetings, and as we know from Parkinson's law, the content will expand to fill the time. Let's go back to the very basics of meetings, what we need to be doing, and let's look at the different phases of the meeting. Pre-meeting considerations. A. Clarify the purpose. This sounds simple enough, but often meetings are a hodgepodge of loosely defined purposes. We need to make sure we are clear about the prioritization of items we're going to address. This becomes important, especially if we run out of time. Do we even need to have this meeting, or can we replace it with a simple inform style email or video or audio? B. Determine attendees' location and length. Japan loves to invite everyone to the meeting, but who is really required? Can we let others with a minor interest share the minutes so that they are kept up to date, but we don't take up their valuable time? As mentioned earlier, why does the meeting have to be 1 hour long? Often we can save a lot of time by fixing a shorter schedule for the meeting, say 40 minutes in length. When you do the calculation of shaving 20 minutes off each meeting being held during the day, the numbers are tremendous in terms of the time saving. Do we need to be sitting down? Could we meet standing up? Because the physical discomfort inspires people to have shorter get-togethers. C. Reserve space, clarify the room setup, equipment needs, food and beverages, etc. In large companies, there is a perennial Darwinian struggle for meeting room availability. You see seriously unhappy people milling around outside, looking to foment a storming of the room if you don't buzz off. Why not be well organized so that we can finish slightly early and be gracious with our colleagues? Most rooms have all the equipment needed, but do we have the expertise to use it? Often, the tech defeats us, and we have no recourse to get help. Usually, the more high-tech, the more the difficulties. So, it is better we deal with the tech issues before the meeting so we don't squander everyone's patience and time. D. Anticipate and plan for potential questions and resistance. Like any presentation, the best way to deal with pushback is to deal with it during our presentation and not wait for the Q&A. We select the likely objections to what we are suggesting and demolish them with solid, inarguable, damning evidence. E. Prepare and distribute an agenda. This sounds obvious, but how many meetings have the agenda sent out before everyone gathers together rather than it lying on the table when we arrive? Get it to people early so they can be thinking about the content before they get into the room. It also precludes any excuses for not being on top of the topic. F. As the meeting organizer, arrive early to check everything is ready. Sometimes the setup isn't as we need it or the equipment isn't working properly. Better to get there early and deal with it all before others arrive. Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Now, today's show is being brought to you by, on the 14th of June, we'll be having some of our previews. Also on the 24th of June, we'll be doing some more previews of our programs. On the 17th and later on the 25th of June, we'll be doing our Dale Carnegie course, two different courses of course on those two dates. And this is the Dale Carnegie course. It's been going for 110 years, incredible program. Nothing lasts that long unless it works. And nothing lasts that long all around the world unless it works. Leadership, communication, people skills, phenomenal program. Dealing with your stress, coming out of your comfort zone, getting the confidence to challenge new things. This is really a fantastic and a very unusual omnibus type of program that hits a lot of things with the one program, with the one course. Excellent program. Our website is www.dale, D-A-L-E Carnegie, C-A-R-N-E-G-I-E .co.jp. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 1,000 for you there at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, as well as my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's a premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays we have Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. During the meeting, A, we should be disciplined and begin and end on time. That means we don't wait for people who arrive late. At a previous company, I was astonished to see people swanning in 15 minutes late, coffee in hand, unashamedly looking around for a seat. Ignore these oafs and start on time. Don't put up with it. One school of thought is to prepare less chairs, knowing certain habitual offenders will arrive late. They will work out they better get there on time if they don't want to stand throughout the meeting. Speak to them separately about their tardiness and lack of professional commitment to the rest of the team's valuable time. B, if we cannot complete all the items, we simply make note of the details and move them to the next agenda so that nothing falls between two stools. C, we need a nominated person to keep the minutes so that we all have a record of what was decided. This arm twisting should be done before the meeting because no one wants to volunteer for more work. D, encourage everyone to participate. The same 3 most confident people can take over the discussion, and a lot of good ideas from those more quiet or introverted people can be lost. As the meeting leader, purposely draw out silent people to make their comment and contribute. Also, summarize what has been decided before moving on to the next items so everyone is clear on what is going on. E, set out the rules of engagement at the start of every meeting. Make it a rule that no one interrupts anyone when they are speaking. Make it a meeting law that we all consent to disagree agreeably. Meetings can become gladiatorial spectacles as ambitious people try to elbow their way to the top, using the opportunity to show they're the only one in the room who has a clue, or so they think. F, make it clear who has to do what and by when for post-meeting action follow-up. If this step is missed, then there is insufficient utilization of the time allocated and all of the resources which have been used up. Post-meeting. A, distribute the minutes quickly so everyone is reminded of what was decided and who has which accountabilities. The action items to be reported on at the next meeting have to be made inarguably clear because some people are total ninjas at dodging responsibility. B, check the designated timelines for task completion and track whether they've been achieved. Legitimate delays can happen, and we need to allow for that by not establishing such tight deadlines that a whole swathe of knock-on effects will kick in uninvited. C, self-evaluate the meeting and have others give you their assessments. This rarely happens because we're all busy and we just quietly move on. Like anything in business, some reflection on how it was done and the value of the time spent is a useful method of generating improvements. Become known as the master of meetings. Meetings will happen anyway, so we have a choice as to whether they will continue as a major waste of time or whether we will make them an engine for the growth of the organization. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Take what you found valuable immediately put into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. Be one of them. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.